Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have a clip of two friend of the court hearings with the same felon mother who owes two different baby daddies over $23,000 in child support arrears. The judge demands an explanation after she recently sold her home and profited over $37,000, but chose not to pay a dime of that money towards her $23,000 in arrears. What does she have to say for herself? Let's find out.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the family court. This is Judge Hesslink. First case this morning is Chelsea Brink versus Devin Hildebrandt. That's file 11-14050-DS. We have Ms. Brink with us. I see Mr. Hildebrandt is with us.
Yes, sir.
All right. We are here today on two matters. One is a show cause continued from last month to proper amount of job applications to the friend of the court for this week. And then the second one is a supplemental petition for show cause filed by the friend of the court, which alleges that you sold your house in March of this year. They've provided documentation of that from the county records. Indicates that the house was sold for $37,000 and that the only payments since that date total $98.74. So they're asking for a show cause as to why you shouldn't be held in contempt for failure to make a diligent effort to pay a more significant portion of the amount owed after the sale of the house. So as to the proofs for job applications, Ms. Kraus, is she submitted the 10 that are required this week?
She actually contacted our office and reported 2 employers. One has been verified and one was sent by electronic verification indicating she was not employed there. She had been previously, so I'm not sure if maybe she just hadn't started yet on that, but right. I do have confirmation that she is currently working for sure at one. No income withholding is set up yet because there's more information that's required from that employer to do so.
All right. Ms. Brink, where are you working at now?
I got a job at Southwoods Pub and Grill, and I'm waitressing. I've been there almost Monday makes a week. And I'm sorry, this coming Monday makes 2 weeks. A week. And then excellent. I was hired at Meyer. But they're waiting on my background check. It's taking Otsego County a long time to get back to Meyer. But I was hired there on 6/30, I believe. And as soon as their background check comes back, then I should be good to go.
That's really good news. They hired
me 5 years ago when I first got out of prison, so I don't see why it should be a problem for my background check to be okayed.
Okay. Well, that all sounds good. Ms.
Your Honor,
Kraus?
I'm going to work at Southwoods for my own money, and then I'm going to work at Meyer to pay my child support, just like 3 days a week probably, because I don't want to overdo myself. And I'm going to AA meetings. My home meeting is at 11:45 every day, so I'm going to have to switch meetings. And then I have well, I guess that's really it. Just the AA meetings going on.
Okay. All right. Mr. Brown wanted to say something. Mr. Brown?
I just wanted to follow up on what Ms. Kraus said. I know that they don't have an income withholding order yet, but Chelsea did indicate to me that her employer has received that. It just has not been processed.
Yeah, when I talked to him yesterday, he said that he had to have his boss fill it out. So as soon as his boss gets in, his boss is really busy. It's the owner of the restaurant, and he's very hands-on, so he's a very busy man. And as soon as he gets a chance, he will fill it out.
All right. Ms. Kraus, is there anything else that Ms. Brink needs to do for the normal show cause proceeding?
Just maybe possibly just making payments until that is, because even if that paperwork is processed, it can take 6 to 8 weeks before money would start to be withheld.
All right.
I just want to say that the first $100 I made, I bought Christmas gifts for my kids, and because they didn't get a Christmas from me last year. So, and then I have $250 in the bank. I have to pay my car insurance because there's a delay on that. I was late on the payment, so I have to pay my car insurance first, my cell phone bill, and then everything after that is going to child support.
All right. Ms. Kraus, what is her
Well, not
monthly payment
everything.
supposed to
I
be?
need money to live on, but I'm planned on paying at least $100.
With the case with Hildebrandt, correct?
Correct.
The obligation is $197. That's just for current support. Arrears are $10,801.42.
All right.
And I'd like to see that get corrected because all of that came accumulated while I was incarcerated. And according to Judge Kevin Hesslink on Brian Morgan's case, he said that if you're incarcerated for more than 6 months, child support doesn't accrue or accumulate, and mine accumulated while I was incarcerated. So I'd like to see that get straightened out.
All right, Ms. Brink.
I don't know what I have to do.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what you have to do right now. You need to file a motion.
Hang on, let me get a piece of paper.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You need to file a motion that says the dates upon which you were incarcerated so that the friend of the court can review to see if there was any increase in the amount while you were incarcerated. And then you need to show whatever documentation you have to prove that you were incarcerated during those time periods.
Well, I don't have any. I got rid of all my, after 1 year, they told me on parole that I had to keep my paperwork for a year, and then after that, I didn't have to keep it. So I got rid of all that paperwork, but I might be able to call the prison and see if they can send me something. I'm not sure.
Your Honor.
All right. Yes, Mr. Brown.
I handled a lot of those cases. I can get that information.
That would be outstanding. Thank you for that assistance. So Ms. Brink, if you can
Thank you,
contact
Mr.
Mr. Brown, he may be able to assist you with that, but you need to file a motion that says when you were incarcerated and proof of those incarceration dates. And then that information can be given to Ms. Kraus, and she can do an investigation as to what, if any, amounts were increased during that incarceration period. And then that can be set for a hearing in front of me, and we'll make a decision on it.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, okay, thank you so much.
All right, yep. Ms. Kraus, is there an ordered on arrears amount in the Hildebrandt case?
There is not.
All right, I'd like to have a recommendation from the friend of the court in writing as to that amount, and we'll have it set for hearing at next month's court date. So that Ms. Brink has an adequate opportunity to review it and see whether she agrees with it or not. And if she wants to disagree, then she'll have a court hearing for that time period. All right, Ms. Brink, the current monthly amount that you owe now that you're working is $197 each month. So we're going to adjourn the show cause to see that you are making that payment. You no longer, because you're employed, you no longer have to do the 10 applications per week. So just keep working, but you need to make your payments now of $197 each and every month. So I'm going to adjourn.
Yeah, I'll put good faith effort into it.
Okay. I'm going to adjourn the first show cause then because you're working. So I'm glad to hear that. And we'll monitor whether or not you're making your payments of $197 each month for the next few months. And if you are, then we'll get rid of the show cause on that. So next, I'm going to turn my attention to this supplemental petition filed by the friend of the court regarding the sale of your home. It's my understanding that the home was sold in March for a price of $37,000, and the friend of the court has not received any significant funds since that time towards your arrearages. Was the home sold in March?
Yes, sir.
And were there any amounts that you received? How much did you receive for the home?
I received one payment of $30,000 and one payment of $7,000.
All right. And why is it that you have not made any additional payments then towards your child support arrears?
Well, can I tell you the whole story? Do you have time?
Well, you can do it in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I was so before I sold the house, I was incarcerated. I got, because of the assault on Sean Conradi, who was a heroin addict living in my house. I gave him a second chance. He was living in his truck, starving to death, he told me. So he ended up assaulting me. I called the police several times to try to have him removed from my house. They put me in jail because they were scared I was going to get seriously hurt. I did 38 days, and while I was there, I went to sober living. When I got out of sober living is when I decided to sell my house. While I was in sober living, I got engaged to Brian Morgan, and he moved me down to Davison, Michigan. Well, he assaulted me very, very, very badly, went to jail, and the landlord wouldn't accept like NEMSCA help or any kind of help from me to pay the rent, and he locked me out. Well, I slept, and that happened right after I sold my house. So I bought a camper, and I was living in my camper. I spent $7,000 $8,500 on that. And then had no vehicle, so I spent $6,500 on my truck. So that was, and I got a really good deal on the truck. I didn't get screwed or anything like that. Pardon my language. And so I was living in my camper. Well, I decided that I lost my job at Italia Gardens. So I decided to come back north, and my camper got wrecked. And so I went under I don't know what it's called, but I think it's like an awning thing at Travelodge, and it ripped the AC unit off and put a big hole in the roof. And then, so I couldn't sleep in that anymore. I couldn't live in it anymore because of weather. Well, it got towed from McDonald's because when I went through McDonald's drive-through, something caught on the side and ripped the siding off of it. And then, so I spent the rest of the money on hotel rooms to live in. I did sleep in my truck some of that time. I was trying to save money, but by the time I got back up here, most of the money was gone. So what I could afford, I paid out of that money. But most of the money was gone. I had to buy a vehicle. I had no vehicle, and I had to figure out something where to sleep,
The friend of the court says that you paid a total of $98.74.
That's not accurate. I paid $200.
Since
Two
March.
$100 bills went there, and I got receipts for both.
They were split between the two cases.
I understand that, but I did pay $200.
All right, so almost 100 of it was credited to this case, and the other amount went to the other case.
Okay,
so
good.
200. Okay, so you got $37,000. You spent $15,000 in total on a camper and a truck. So that means you spent $12,000 on yourself without making any payments for your kids.
I made 2 payments.
$200. So you spent $11,800 on yourself instead of paying it towards your kids.
Well, I did the best I could, sir. I'm sorry that makes you upset.
That's not the best you can. That's being selfish. It's spending money on yourself instead of sending it to your kids.
Well, I haven't spent money on myself in 5 years.
Your Honor, that'd be 22,000 rather than 12,000.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much for the math correction. I appreciate that.
Well, either way, I'm working now, so payments will come.
He here's what's going to happen with those payments, Ms. Brink. They're going to go up substantially. I know that the money's gone now, but I'm going to take that into account when I set the ordered on arrears amount.
You have
you
to base it off
wasted-
what I'm making. You can't just increase it because you want to and you're not happy about my case.
And I will, but I have
You have to
discretion
follow
as
the
to
law.
where it's going to be
Set
placed.
formulation.
Ms. Brink, I'm not going to have this argument with you today. I'm simply telling you what I'm going to do. You can object to it next month, Ms. Brink. You can object to it next month when we have the hearing on it, but I'm telling you what I'm disposed to do so that you can prepare yourself for it. I am disposed to, in my discretion. Ms. Brink, I'm talking, you'll wait. I'm disposed in my discretion to raise the amount that you're going to be paying on the arrears amount because you have wasted $22,000 on yourself instead of paying child support. You could have paid off the entire amount of child support that you owe in this case and probably in the other case. All right. We'll have you back in a month. Ms. Kraus has taken notes. She has noted that I will use my discretion to increase the amount of ordered on arrears amount next month to the most amount that we possibly can under the recommendations. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Is there a Mason case?
There is, and it'll be called in just a minute, but the next case is not that case.
Okay, I do have to work at 11, so just so you know.
Thank you very much. I'll get to you as quickly as I can.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Similar to the last case, we're here on two matters. One is a normal show cause to determine whether or not you're meeting your monthly obligations. And then we have the supplemental petition to show cause regarding the house sale as well. I understand from the last case that we had that you are now employed and your employer is in the process of doing a withholding order and also that you have sold your house and the funds have been spent. So I'm going to enter the same order in this case that I did in the last case, unless there's some different information that you want to tell me about for this particular case.
I don't think so. I think everything I said is true, and I think I've said everything that I need to say, except for that I do have motions filed for parenting time, and I'd like to get my children over to Petoskey, where I'm living at the Mary Margaret House, to the Children's Advocacy Center. I'm working with APS as well. I have an open APS case for myself and my parents.
All right. Well, the parenting time, Ms. Brink, parenting time goes to Mr. Legal as the referee first. So you'll have to deal with him at his
actually,
hearing.
Don Ellison.
Your Honor.
Don Ellison
that has been changed to me, hasn't it? All right. I remember that. All right. I don't see any motions that you filed in the court file for that, though. Have you filed those motions yet?
Yes. It's scheduled July 25th at 10 a.m.
Your Honor.
Yes.
In regards to that, there was a motion that was filed, but there are case notes from the county clerk that was sent back to her with some instructions to complete the fee waiver or send payment. So it would have to be set for a later date.
All right. All I can say, Ms. Brink,
I did do that, and I already mailed it in.
Well, it hasn't reached the court file yet. So once it reaches here, I'll have that hearing.
I haven't seen my kids in 2 years.
Okay, Ms. Brink, once it gets here, we'll have the hearing when it's set. It's just not set for today.
Right. Okay.
I'm not denying you an opportunity to have a hearing. I'm simply saying I don't see it in the court file at the moment, which means it simply hasn't gotten here yet. I'm sure that it's on its way, and once it gets here, we'll have a hearing on the date set for that hearing. But I can't do it today because it's not set for today.
Right.
All right. So on the friend of the court matter, we will do the same thing in this file that we did in the other file. Because she's now employed, she can start making payments. Ms. Kraus, what are the monthly payments that she needs to make in this file?
This specific case would be $252. There was an ordered on arrears order back from 2018 requesting $50 towards overdue support. Her arrears on this case
Which I was incarcerated.
All right, Ms. Brink, you're going to have a chance to make that motion in this case too. We're going to get to that, but you
Okay.
need to let people talk until they're done, and then you can jump in. You can't just talk over people. All right, Ms. Kraus, go ahead.
The arrears on this case is $13,107.09.
All right, Ms. Kraus, I'd like to have you do an ordered on arrears recommendation in this file, just like you did in the other one. I realize that there's $50 a month being paid, but back when that was set, I believe that there was probably a much less, a much reduced arrears amount. So I'd like to have a current recommendation, and we'll schedule that for hearing at the next month's court hearing. And then in the meantime, Ms. Brink, you need to be making payments of $252 a month on this file, and we'll review that next month to make sure that you're able, how well you did on that. And then you can also get with Mr. Brown to get the documentation that you need to make any motions regarding same thing that you did in the last file about the incarceration time if you believe that the arrears amount is not accurate and grew during the time that you were incarcerated.
It did, and I will. The
All
only
right.
thing I was going to say is that, yes, I was incarcerated from 2017 to 2020, I was incarcerated. So all of that is inaccurate. And I will be filing a motion for that. And I was going to say something else and I can't remember, so I don't want to waste your time. Oh, Mr. Mason has been letting me talk to John, my son, on the phone. So I will say that that is progress in a positive direction.
Okay.
But the only complaint I have is that he is talking very poorly about me, my mother and my father, probably my sisters and brother. And
Okay.
he's talking very badly about my family in front of my son, and that's causing my son's autism to be worse.
All right, Ms. Brink,
I'm concerned.
all of those things are parenting time issue things. So I can't consider that today. So when we have the hearing
Okay.
on the parenting time motion, you can bring all of that up to my attention then, and I'll consider it at that time. All right, ma'am?
Yes, sir. And I
All
do
right.
want to tell you, too, that I'm working with NEMSCA and working on getting a place, and I should be in my place, like, within the next month. But the only thing I was going to say is, am I going to get a whole month between court hearings? Because it's only been 2 weeks since I've been in court. And I'd like to see myself get a whole month in between court hearings so that I have a chance to pay on my child support before I get
We tried
lectured again.
We try to give you as close to a month as we possibly can. There are some days, some months where it's not possible due to scheduling for other reasons. But we will give you as much notice or much lead time as we possibly can. So this will be scheduled next month at the normal time. I don't know whether that's going to be exactly a month from now or not, but it'll be
Sure.
as close to that as we can possibly get. All right. Is there anything
I
else,
need to
Ms. Brink?
update my address with the court as well.
All right, you need to do that in
that
writing
I
to the
get the
friend of the
notion.
court, please.
I'm sorry?
Do you want to give it to us now, and then you also need to send us a
Yes,
note so that we
please.
have the file.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And that's temporary, so I'll have to update my address again once I get it into my apartment in Vanderbilt.
All right, if you would send that to the friend of the court in the mail as well, so that they have that for their file, so that they make sure that they keep that
Okay.
accurate as much as possible, I'd appreciate that. All right,
Sure.
that's all for today, then.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good luck to you next
Thank you.
month.
Your Honor,
Thank
can
you.
would you be able to request that we update the address? Because then we can do that in our
Yes.
system if you order it.
Yes, please. So
Thank you.
ordered.